Good evening, viewers, wherever you are, and welcome to Afrique 24 Political Talk Show, where we dig deep into the ever shifting political landscape of Kenya. I'm your host, Mzalendo, and tonight we have an insightful discussion lined up for you and with my guest who I expect any time from now, Brother Ben, a seasoned political analyst and commentator. Kenya's political scene is never short of surprises as we do edge closer to the next general elections. Questions abound. What does the future hold for our nation's leadership? How will the alliances and rivalries shape the destiny of our people? We will also revisit the famous handshake that have defined the Kenyans' recent history, and one between President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, and the other one between Raila Odinga and the famous handshake with again Uhuru Kenyatta. Then another handshake with William Ruto. What do these deals mean for the nation, and do they reflect a genuine unity or political uh, of any political nature? So we will look at this handshake and see whether they are genuine, whether they will help the people of Kenya, or it is just for their own personal interests. As we dissect these dynamics, we cannot ignore Raila's latest global endeavor with his African Union Commission bid. What does it mean politically? For him and for his supporters in Kenya? And today, Raila had a very wonderful debate. I think that was Raila Odinga's best debate ever. Ever since I started watching Raila Odinga, today he had a very good day, and I'll play for you the clip of Raila Odinga in just a second.
Panel is here, His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf and His Excellency Mr. Richard, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Africa. Africa, hamjambo, bonsoir. Salam alaikum, rahmatullah ta'ala wa barakatuh. Boa noite. I am delighted to have opportunity today to stand before you as the son of Africa. I was born in Kenya, but I'm told that my grandparents came from the Sudan. I am a father of 4, a grandfather of 5, and a husband of 1 that I know of. I am an engineer by profession, and I have been an academic. I have also been a public servant. I've been a member of parliament. I've also been a prime minister and also leader of opposition. In those capacities, I've tried to do my best, and I've gained a lot of experience in terms of management of public affairs. I stand here as an Pan-Africanist and an Afro-optimist. 2 months ago, that is on the 21st of October, this year we were here in Addis Ababa. We had been invited as members of the families of the founding fathers of the African Union to come and witness the reopening of the Africa Hall. That's the hall where the OAU was launched in 1963. And we're happy to be here with Madam Ambassador Konjit, who was there as a young girl at that time. It is now 61 years since the launch of the Organization of African Unity. And at that time, if you read the speeches of the founding fathers on that day, they were very passionate, and all of them talked about African unity. Where there was a difference was, when do we achieve this unity? There are those who, under the school of thought, that the unity now. There are those who said, no, we need to be gradual in this. Let us first build the building blocks, the regional unions, which will eventually translate into formation of the African Union as a whole. But now we have they came up 50 years later with Vision 2063, which now hopes to get Africa united, one union government by 2030, and move on to attain the vision, the wishes of the founding fathers of Africa. I say that I have the experience. I've been part of this movement for changing the continent. We know that some achievements have been made. Africa is now completely liberated, but there's still work to do. And I believe that I have what it takes to get us where we want to do. In the field of education, in the field of health, in the field of value addition to the abundant wealth that we have on the continent, in the field of trade, inter-African trade. I have acted as the African Union High Representative on infrastructure. And in this I know that we have very comprehensive programs in PIDA, Program for Infrastructure Development of the Continent. What remains is action. And what I want to promise the African people is that I am going to lead from the front to ensure that we achieve the visions of the founding fathers of our continent. I thank you.
That was indeed Raila Odinga opening statement or remarks during the debates. This was a very powerful statement from Baba, and for once, I think Baba did a very good thing, a very good show in his presentation. So I leave it out for you viewers to analyze what Raila Odinga said, and more importantly, his bid for this particular seat is very, very serious on this one. And the Kenyan government has invested very, very heavily. What I don't know of the AUC Commission seat is the impact it will have for Africa. If they can get their acts together, then this can be something very good for African people. I think the top contenders, as you saw in the debate, is Raila Odinga and the gentleman from Djibouti. They all seem to know or know the issues around the AU, African Union. And I liked the gentleman from Djibouti when he said that, there is a conflict in Africa and the people who are coming to solve the conflict are from Turkey. So what are we talking about? There is also a conflict in Sudan. And the AU is not talking about it. There are so many things that are happening around Africa, so many wars, so many civil wars that could be resolved by an African army. This is something that people like Gaddafi saw a long, long time ago, that Africa should have its own military. Africa should come together and have a force that they will be reckoned by the Europeans, by the Asians. So until we get our act together, these tiny, small economies of Africa cannot compete with the world, and that is what people have been saying. that we need to put our act together and see whether we can be a force to reckon in the world. Can we face countries like China, Russia, the United States? We can only face it as a united Africa, and that is the dream of the founding fathers of different nations of Africa. One day that Africa will be united. We don't need. I don't need a passport to go to uh, my neighbor in Somalia or in Tanzania or in Uganda. We should trade openly and not with a lot of suspicion. Remember, we have got many forces that, if they are combined together, can be the greatest force in the world. So I leave this to the African heads of states, to the African Union organization, and hopefully I'll be rooting for my candidate from my country, Kenya, one Raila Odinga, to win this particular seat. And if he wins it, then we will be proud that he has brought the trophy back home. So good luck, Jacob. Good luck, Baba, on your venture to become the AUC chairman. So here at Afrik, we will wish you the best and possibly pray for you that you win this particular one. And once you win it, we also hope that you will unite Africa so that we can become one big nation with one currency. And that way we will be respected by other continents, other countries, the European, the Americans, and so on. So Baba's opening statement, leave a comment out there. That statement was very direct, very interesting, very passionate, and you could see from the crowd they liked the engagement. He cracked a joke or two in his opening remarks. The Djibouti guy, I thought the Djibouti guy is also good in matters of management. He knows how the AU really runs. I think probably has worked inside there. He knows so much about the affairs of the African Union. But I think Baba, with the political experience, he has got an edge over the Djibouti candidates. But may the best candidate win. A win for either of them will be a win for Africa. And so long as they stand for the values of the African people and the continent, we pray that they give it their best shot. Back to our local politics. I mean, there is a lot that has been happening in the political scene, and so much that sometimes each and every day there is a new thing that is cropping up. Right now, I am seeing lately this week we saw uh, one Ruto rushing to Gatundu for the man from Ishwera, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, in his Gatundu farm to have a talk with the president. I think this is one of the broader aspects of broad-based government that William Ruto is trying uh, to try to pass across, that we as the leaders of Kenya, we are uniting so that we form one great country. But there is a problem with that, and I see the problem is that this country is a multi-party democracy, and when it's a multi-party democracy, you cannot all unite in forming one called great grand coalition called government. There has to be people opposing that particular government. Your government has to be put on check each and every time. So there is no time that we, the people of Kenya, wrote a constitution where each and everybody will come back again and form one great coalition to steer the country. There was a problem in that because we had the Kanu days, the multi-party, the one-party rule under President Kenyatta, then President Moi, and that is why the people fought so hard for multi-party democracy. People lost their lives. So there is freedom of speech, there is freedom of association, and that is in the constitution. You can't destroy that, what we have built for a very long time, Mr. President. And that is where you are getting it wrong. I think the critics are good. Positive criticism to the government is good. It makes you, as the President of the Republic of Kenya, know what to do next. When you're given a positive critic to what you're doing, like what is happening in the country, then you should take it positively and act on it. I think for me, William Ruto lost a very good opportunity to unite the country once he threw away the finance bill, and with the emergence of Gen Zs who articulated their issues more better than the opposition. He listened to them, and he went further to go into their platforms and discuss matters affecting the country. That was a good move. That was a good move by the president. And we saw for the first time, I thought that, okay, my president is doing the right thing. For many of us who voted for William Ruto as a president of the Republic of Kenya, and we really campaigned, we had hoped that he is going to bring the change that we want. We did. We thought that this guy is outside the dynasty. This guy is articulate. This guy is the real thing that Kenya has been waiting for. This is the guy who is going to bring transitional transformation in government. Is going to ensure that, okay, he had had his mistakes before, but people had told him about his mistakes. He was supposed to change when he got the presidency and become something that the other generation can look up to. He was the darling of the West. So all of a sudden, things have changed for William Ruto. And why so? Why so? We discussed these matters. Why things changed drastically for the president, once a darling of the people, now an enemy of the people. So much is happening in our political scene, and a lot is now taking a tribal angle, which for we here in Africa and Mzalendo Uncensored, we are going to fight very, very hard so that we don't have a tribal kind of thing that happened in 2007. And it would be unfortunate for leaders to think that, we can decide to blame our whole community for the wrongs that are happening in government. So some of these in Kiswahili we say ni ya kujitakia, makosa ya kujitakia. For William Ruto, mistake number one, you don't drop your strongest ally for a weak ally or an unpredictable ally. That was a big mistake. Dropping one Gashagwa was a big mistake, and I think that was that's where the problem started. Now you realize that you need the 4 million plus votes from Central Province, and you can't get them, and you can't get them. Then the other side are also people who, yes, they want to be in government, and they're not shying away and telling you, oh yes, we are going to form the next government. But how is it possible that we are going to have a country each and every time we go for elections, then we are back at it again? We are back at it again. Every time we are having an election, then we come back at the same point where we left. So these things, we must solve them. We must sort them out. We must call them out when we need to call them out, and we must look at our leaders critically, what they are really up to. what are they? What are they now doing? Uh, what is uh, what is one Uhuru Kenyatta doing in the political limelight? I mean, this is somebody who has been the president, who has served his term, who left the mantle for Raila Odinga, although they didn't succeed. But this guy has been there for a while now. So Kenyans should know that once you exit the presidency, the camera tilts to the next person, and that is one William Ruto. So the cameras right now are on William Ruto, and we hope that he will stay on the camera. So many political analysts have predicted that this government is not going to survive in 2027. And that forms our main discussion today, is whether this government will survive in 2027. Do you, leave a comment out there and tell me whether you think that this government will survive in 2027. I don't think so, that the government of William Ruto will survive in 2027 if they don't do things the right way. Kenyans have become more angrier. Kenyans have become more vigilant and more informed. There's a lot of civic education going on. All these are geared towards 2027. You saw the famous Kasongo caricature. I wanted to get one of the cartoons that have been going around, and this is really irritating President William Ruto. So some I don't know where that guy came up with the Kasongo thing, but the Kasongo thing seems to be working so well. When you see something that has been noticed by the government and everybody is talking about it, it means that the message is going home, and and uh, and the government, I'm sure they are looking for whoever is producing these cartoons for William Ruto and the government and Raila Odinga and the company, because uh, this images that they are being produced every day are working magic. The message is getting home. People are getting more angrier and angrier about what is happening in government, and people are getting to know. And the government is also acting when once they see some of these things, they are also acting. And that is the beauty about it. When they see, they will act. When they don't see anything, like we used to be very contented with government, nobody was talking about, nobody could even criticize the president, and and they didn't care. They had a lot of arrogance. Now there's also another community that is still arrogant, and that is uh, the MPs. I think the MPs are very, very arrogant. They still believe that they own everything. They don't owe anything to us. Once they get to parliament, they don't owe us anything. Now, we are telling them this is the message from the people of Kenya. We will clean the house. If you have not been participating in the house, if you have not delivered for your constituents, you will definitely be going home in 2027. 2027 election is going to be a different kind of election. There will be a lot of legislation, a lot of pushing and pulling. You see, the IBC is now going to be reconstituted again. I don't know why Kenyans are so eager to see IBC commissioners, yet they know very well that this one is working for ODM and this one is working for UDA. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Kalonzo also wants their people, his people there. It does not make sense to anybody. I mean, if you have got all these political parties dominating some people to be commissioners of IBC, Does it really make sense? It doesn't make sense because they can also be compromised. They are a human being, and that's why they are being pushed because one, they have not no loyalty to the people of Kenya, but to the party that is pushing them for those positions. That is where we get the problem, and that is why our election we get it wrong all the time. But Mr. President, here is a solution, and every time we give you a solution here on Africa, some of them you've implemented them, and others umepuuza. Now, for sanity to happen in the Kenyan elections, this is advice for free. For sanity to happen in African election, in Kenyan election particularly, and in Africa as a whole, so that we don't have this, these suspicions each and every time. Oh, after elections tuko na suspicion, kura imeibiwa, nani ameiba, nani ameiba kura zetu, nani nini, things like that. We have these suspicions going on each and every time. But how do we sort out this mess that we are in? The solution is one. The IBC budget runs into billions. They should allow media, mainstream media, credited media houses to call for elections. What does this mean? The media has got reporters throughout the constituencies in Kenya. In all those constituencies, let there be a reporter going around, and these media houses will be competing for information. They'll be competing to have the story to call important elections. We will be seeing these things live. So, what is this craziness of elections are held in a school compound, in a classroom? You go vote there, your vote remains there, it is counted there, it is announced there. What changes with that result when it goes to Bomas? You go to the counties, the ballot boxes are carried to the county hall after the counting has been done. I mean, ni upuzi gani hii tuko nayo wa Kenya? I mean, yani ni ujinga kiasi gani? Why should the elections you've already known who was won, be it the president, be it your MCA, be it the senator, at that classroom where the votes have been counted. Why are you moving with the ballot box to another destination to announce the same results? It doesn't make sense. It increases the cost of elections. It increases the loopholes to steal the votes, and the suspicion around that particular movement of ballot boxes being moved to another destination. Kura zikishahesabiwa in whatever village it is, let it be announced, and that results let it be final. That way we don't have to wait for hours the next day. Sijui another Chebukati coming to announce for elections, or the new commissioner, whether it is Kokimuli, coming to announce the results of the election. We don't need all that kind of rubbish. We only need the media to tell us that Nairobi, William Ruto has won Nairobi by so many votes, followed by Raila Odinga, followed by, those candidates. That is all we need. Then now we know that we can project that with all these counties counted, the remaining counties, it will be inconsequential. it will not be as important as, because we know the number of registered votes in those particular counties, even if they are done, even if they come late. So we don't have to wait for them. We already have the main results that have been counted, and it is real time. And I tell you, in 4 hours, we shall be able to know who the president of the Republic of Kenya is after the close of uh, of uh, of voting. That is at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. by midnight. When you wake up in the morning, the headline is we already know the president elect for the Republic of Kenya. We don't have to go through all this drama, and that election will be more transparent. But you see, do they really want this? Do the civil society want us to go that direction? I don't think they also want this, because they also would want more donations to come. They want to more questions to be raised during the elections. No accountability at all. The politicians, they still need those loopholes so that they can steal. Your local MP now needs those loopholes so that they can manipulate the votes. Those are the people who make the laws. They cannot make that particular laws because that law knocks them out. Mhm. The senators, the same. You see, now another thing, I just mentioned the Senate, and I remembered that, Sai in the Senate, they are also having their own budget. Ati sasa Senate watakuwa na kitu kama CDF yao. Kenya ni nchi tajiri, Kenya ni nchi tajiri kabisa. Now the senators will have their own CDF. They will be managing it. That is to, I don't know which roads they will be. Well, they'll be repairing. I don't know which salaries, which bursaries they want to pay for. And the Ruto's government just the other day signed the uh, equalization bill, something like that, a bill that ensures that each and every county get the same amount of money. Uh, that is what Gashagwa was really fighting for. One man, one shilling. Hiyo ilizama maji. And now we have the equalization bill, and each and every county, I think, will be getting something like 23 billion for development. Although, yes, you give them 23 billion, they can't account for even 10 billion that you give them. You add them another 23 billion. These are the thieves who are going to get fatter and fatter, just like myself here. They'll be getting bigger and bigger with our money. So, Bwana Rais, hapo lazima, even if the money is going, lazima we put some, lazima tukue macho kidogo, tuangalie hii pesa inatumika kivipi kule mashinani. Ingawaji wanasema kuna maendeleo, yes, maendeleo iko, lakini maendeleo kiasi sana, maendeleo duni. In some counties they have not even tarmacked an inch of road with the funds that they have been getting. They can't even do anything. They have got a workforce that is bloated. All their money is going for recurrent expenditure. Cleaning services, they have outsourced cleaning services. Cleaning supermarkets, cleaning markets, and all that are done by politicians. So there is also another bill of conflict of interest. That bill for conflict of interest, we want to know the details about it. MPs are busy deleting and including some things in that bill that we ought to really scrutinize. There are some things being passed very, very fast. Na tujui mambo ya CDF, they really want it in the constitution. We'll still go back to the courts. That thing should not be in the constitution. It is illegal. It is a bribe for the people of Kenya. It is unwarranted. It is not something that ought to be there. If you have a good leader, then development should come to each and every constituency in Kenya. I don't see the need of of giving MPs bursaries and lining our parents up there to give them checks of and tokens of 5,000, 2,000, and the MPs announce boldly, nitakuwa nawapatia bursaries tarehe fulani tarehe fulani tarehe fulani. Like I saw Babu we do. I mean, Babu, please, 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 people are looking at you as a future leader. The issue of bursaries, you should come out very, very firmly. Come up with a bill. You are learned. Come up with a bill for free secondary education for our kids. Come up with a bill in parliament to make sure that it passes. And this will be a popular bill. The MPs that will be refusing to pass the bill on free secondary education, those ones should just go home. They don't know why they are in parliament. So you as an MP should not be proud of giving taxpayers back their money that they have been paying to the government. That is not even your work. Your work is to create policies in in parliament and to bring bills and to scrutinize the executive, so that those bills that they are bringing into parliament can ease the burden for the people. You don't ease the burden for the people in Christmas by giving them. But I wish you could have done one important thing: give them those bursaries so that they can have. Give them. Give them an opportunity to send their schools, send their kids to secondary school free of charge without paying a dime. And I think that is a good thing that can happen to the people of Kenya. My guest today is very, very late, and I think is held somewhere in traffic. And I hope that uh, he will be with me shortly. And guys, I have received so many requests for people who want to join the show and participate in the program that I started for candidates who want to vie. And most importantly, this is the place to be. Come here. We will make sure that we give you an opportunity to tell us what you want to do for your people. That is very, very important for us here on Afrique. So when you come here, we will give you an opportunity to tell the people of Kenya what you want to do. I want to leave you again with the speech from Raila, and this is something that is so wonderful. Just listen to him.
Merci infiniment.
Thank you very much, the candidate of.
There has to be areas of specialized agriculture, and that I would say is one of the steps that will lead to ensuring that this world there can be at the benefit of the population. And then we come to natural resources. I acknowledge the work by President Museveni. He has said that he will not export petrol or gas as long as there will not be a refinery in Uganda. These are the examples from African leaders who take the destiny of their people in hand so that they can actually have value added locally. Now, trade, everybody knows that it is through trade that development happens. Look at China. China and all over the Chinese economy really target production and exportation. When you add value to our products, we can become exporters. Let me talk about tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers. That is not the problem. I think that the situation must be to, first of all, protect our wealth by transforming them locally. Thank you.
Well, that was the Djibouti candidate. Yeah, I didn't play it, and somebody requested that I play the Djibouti candidate. I said, okay, we are not biased here on Afrique. We will play for you what the gentleman said. But as I told you earlier, Baba did a very, very good presentation earlier yesterday. And I think from what I see in most of the platforms, and even the analysts who are analyzing the debate, they gave him some good points in his opening remarks. Even the closing he tried. So the top contenders are the guy from Djibouti and Baba, and we wish him all all the best. Guys, I'd lined up a couple of issues on this particular edition of Zalendo Uncensored, and we will not shy from discussing some of them. And maybe tomorrow we can recap on what we had discussed. Please leave your comment, and if you're watching this channel from elsewhere and you've not subscribed to Afrik, please make sure that you've subscribed to Afrik. We'll be bringing for you unfiltered, uncensored news from all over Africa, especially the political news and stories that also are interesting, stories of economic importance to the people around Africa. We will also air it here on Africa. If you are watching us throughout the world and you want to participate on Africa, please make sure that you shoot an email to Africa management so that we can reach out and cover your story. Here is where we analyze, we talk about the stories that are happening in Africa. If you've seen a technological innovation around you, whether you're in Uganda, Tanzania, and we want to talk about it so that somebody can come and invest money on that. We will talk about it here on Africa. So please feel free. Make sure that you have subscribed to Africa, and make sure that you email us whenever you have got something that is burning, whether it is political, whether it is social. We will make sure that we air it here on Africa. On Africa, we are not a biased media. We emphasize on the truth, justice, and educating our viewers out there on the importance of good governance, especially uh, in Africa, because we are all African and Africa is our business. So we need to continue pumping a lot of information out there for our people. Just recently, one of the multi-party leaders in Uganda is in jail right now. African leaders should behave like, that, like they're dealing with human beings. We Such kind of things should ought to have happened many years ago in the colonial era. Uh, we are talking about brotherhood, and yet we are causing atrocities among our own people. Here in Kenya, for example, there were extrajudicial killings. Why could you? Why you as a policeman is killing your own son, your own daughter? I mean, does it even make sense to you when you go back home? You go back home refreshed, clean up your burns and blood. Na uko sawa that you've done a good job, and mshahara itaingia mwisho wa mwezi, that umefanya kazi mzuri sana. Endelea tu na hiyo kazi, lakini malipo inakuwaga tu ni hapa. Mwenyezi Mungu pia unaweza kuwa ni hao wanyonge hawawezi, hawana haki, lakini wewe maisha yako haiwezi enda mzuri. Angalia vizuri sana, angalia wenzako wale walikuwa wanafanya hiyo kazi, angalia wewe mwenyewe, angalia watoto wako, angalia bibi yako, nini utapata. Kuna kitu Mungu pia halali. Ukitendea watoto wenyewe mbaya, wewe pia wako pia wanaweza tendewa tu mabaya, na Mungu anaweza akakupanish ile mbaya kabisa. Yeah, so these are the things that are happening in Kenya. I see Brother Ben trying to join. Brother Ben is trying to join. Yes, Ben. Karibu sana Afrika. Karibu ingia kwa show. So these are the things that are happening, and we hope that zitabadilika at some point, because we cannot continue killing each other because of politics. We cannot continue having these endless killings because of politics. Uh, Politics and politicians come and go. Yeah, let me welcome Brother Ben to the studio. I, yes, brother.
Habari gani?
You are a true African timer. I
How?
love your timing. This time round, you are right on time.
Yeah,
Mm.
I saw the message. I was on my way and I saw the message
You,
and I said,
you
okay.
you are driving.
No, I know. I just I saw it when I was driving. Then now I'm home.
Oh, that good to see you. Good to see you. I've covered a bit of what we wanted to discuss, but we will just recap
Okay.
on some of the issues. One, I started the show by saying that Kenya has reached a point whereby we have to make the right decisions. There's so much happening in the political scene,
Mm.
locally and both regionally. As you saw today, maybe the main highlight of today is Baba's speech in Addis Ababa. What do you think about it? But first, before I even say that, have the opportunity to greet our viewers out there.
Habari ya kila mtu. Mimi ni Brother Benson. Mi ni Mkenya halisi. Nawakaribisha wote katika mjadala wa leo.
Thank you, Brother Ben. Thank you, Brother Ben, for that wonderful introduction.
Mm.
Uh, yes, Brother Ben is also having his own media. It's called BBM Media. You need to, when you get an opportunity, you also need to introduce your station so that people can always go there and watch a lot of these political stories on your end.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
So, yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Oh, thank you so much. I think today all the three of them, I would not say that somebody won the debate or somebody lost, but all of them were all sons of Africa who are trying just to lay what they have for Africa. But I know it is going to be quite challenging to any of them who is going to win because we have so many challenges in Africa. And hopefully, if the three of them, you know, if the three of them, one
Hmm.
will get a chance to win, um,
Hmm.
they will have quite a number of challenges to deal with. But in terms of Baba did well. I cannot say that Raila did not do well. He did well, best to his knowledge, and the countries that are voting will decide. Yeah, but I think both of them, all of them, I mean, the three of them did well.
Yeah, I saw. Just like I said earlier that I was I was I was impressed with Baba's opening statement,
Mm,
and it was very powerful. It's something that resonated very well with the. You can see when the people are reacting to what you are saying,
yeah.
if they're having any connection with it. Yeah. So that one worked so well with just a second. That one worked so well. When he opened his statement, he had a joke or two. Yeah, when you're opening a statement that you are able to crack a joke, it means that you are comfortable. So he made himself very comfortable in the opening remarks, and he was articulate in the issues. Although what I observed again is that Djibouti guy knew about the management of AU affairs. He had a grasp on what happens in the AU. as compared to what Raila had presented. So that is something that I saw, and I was impressed by what Baba did last evening. I'm also joined here by Brother Leo. Leo, karibu sana Africa, and tell us where you are. Tell us if you are passing by, greeting us, or you are here. You are passing by.
Leo.
Leo.
Uh,
Yeah. So that was impressive. But again, let us get back to our topic.
uh,
Our topic for today is the political landscape in Kenya, just as I've said it. And Ben, you've seen so much that has been happening in Kenya. So many candidates are out there. Everybody everybody wants to everybody wants to be president, but we can only have one president at a time. The IBC issue also was there this week. You also saw it. I don't know what you make of the selection of IBC. I want us to touch briefly on the developments of the handshake that William Ruto did earlier in the week by uh, meeting Uhuru. And remember, Raila Odinga had also a similar handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, yeah, during his last term. And now William Ruto also made an handshake with one Raila Odinga. And now there's a combination of handshakes here. Handshake with Raila Odinga, handshake with Uhuru. What do you guys make of this? But first of all, let me welcome Leo. Leo, welcome. I think your net is yeah, you are okay now. Leo, welcome. Welcome
Thank you.
back to Africa. We have missed you, and tell us where you've been, my brother. Karibu.
Thank you so much, Zalenda. Very good morning from East Africa. Good morning, Brother Benson. I'm happy to see you guys because it is great. Uh, I've been away for some time working on something, but I know very soon I'll be back. I know a lot has happened. There've been so much development in politics, and there've also been a lot of speculation. But all in all, we can say that the political temperatures have so far been cooled. We are not where we were 3 months ago, that is in the month of June, July. And we hope that as we begin 2025, things are going to get better. Outside the country, Kenya is also doing better. Just the recently concluded elections in United States, we had a Kenyan who managed to get some elective position uh, right there to inform us that we are much competitive. And maybe in the next 1, 2 months, we are also going to have a Kenyan who is going to lead the African Union. Apart from that, the president, Kenyan president, was also elected to chair the East African community. So these are great achievements that we have to appreciate despite the developments that have so far. We are going to look at them. You talked of the handshakes and such kind of things. And maybe just in a nutshell, I can just say that as we are moving on, politics is dynamic. Things are likely to change. They are not going to remain the same. Some will change in a positive way, and some are also going to change in a negative way. So it might be early to talk of the kind of handshake that we're going to have. We might have handshakes that maybe might be revoked as the time move on. In Kenyan politics, maybe a week for a month is longer than a year. Nobody expected that the deputy president will be pitched within a few days. And this is something that not even the deputy president himself could see. So thank you very much, Galindo, for this morning show. I think it's good because it reaches many Kenyans who are within the East African timing. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you, Leo, and welcome back again. You are right. So much might change, but I don't see a lot changing in our politics. It seems that the style is the same. You have remained a constant in whoever you are supporting. Nothing. You have never moved from the political party that you've been supporting, and so many other Kenyans who are now feeling that it is time to move to a new movement, a new thing altogether. There is when I talk to many Kenyans out in the diaspora. If I talk to the people I meet in the diaspora, if I talk to people like Brother Ben here, he will tell you that so much is changing in our politics. A lot has changed, and people don't trust the old political players, the people who have been in politics for a long time. But Ben, back to our question
Yeah.
before we move to the next agenda. What do you make of these handshakes that are happening recently?
Um, uh, just to speak about the Uhuru Ruto handshake, it reminds us of the previous administration where we had the 2013 administration, that is Uhuru Ruto administration. So maybe as a head of state, a former head of state, he the president might have gone there to seek advice as a head of state. You know, that is something that is there, so we cannot deny that. Secondly, there's also a political part of it in terms of in the recent past, not even in the recent past, even as we speak today, President William Ruto has been having quite rough time with the population, some population, especially the Mount Kenya. They've been this hostility towards the president. So people view that by visiting the former head of state, maybe he was trying to find a way on how to neutralize the effect of Rigathi Gachagua in the mountain. That is also some of the views that people are also looking at. Another view that also people are speaking about is the extension of broad-based government. Remember when Raila visited Toi when we had that fire incident, he said um, he donated the experts to the government, and during the same week, there was uh, a place whereby Raila said that Uhuru Kenyatta called him. So, which means they were just comparing notes if what they laid has really worked as a control. They were contra, kind of like giving each other thumbs up that what we laid, especially Gashagwa, is out of the equation. So we did a good job. So that is what I might make of it.
Maybe just
Okay, Leo,
a minute. Yes. All right.
you've got
I
something
just
to
want
say.
to. Yeah, I just want to say that first of all, I have to agree with Brother Ben. And politics is all about perception. So the president's visit to the former president might be perceived differently and might be put differently in a political contest. But perceptions and the political part of it aside, we have to understand that Uhuru Kenyatta is the immediate former president. And we are lucky as Kenya to be having former presidents. At a point, we used to have two former presidents, so which if a president like Museveni visited Kenya, he really wondered how we are having former presidents. In most African countries, we don't have former presidents because it is either they die in office or there is a coup which is globally making them not to stay within the country. So Uhuru being the former president who served for 10 years, he has got some institutional memory and experience that anybody who is getting into that office, running a country is not easy. You need to go and consult somebody who's been there so that you don't just stand and do things your own way. And you'll find that Ruto visiting Uhuru is something that is normal. within a civilized system of government, you need to always seek some advice from your former or somebody who was in that office previously so that they can be able to take you through that office. Remember, when swearing in and handing over, they don't do an induction to tell you, okay, this is how I do this. So once you try and you find that these things are not working out, it is good to go and consult. Secondly, on the political part, I don't think Uhuru Kenyatta is having any influence in Mount Kenya because this is a man who had a candidate that is supported in the presiding elections, and the people rejected him because of people did not listen to him. Like it's like people disowned his patronage, so he doesn't have any influence as much as even that Gachagua. Gachagua, despite maybe people perceiving that he has got influence, in practicality, Gachagua doesn't have any influence. He's somebody who cannot even organize some meetings with these people, but he gets crushes on other people's meetings and funerals. I have to wait for a funeral to go and have a meeting. And the constitution, and once you've been impeached, you're not fit to hold any constitution of public office. That anybody who will be having a talk in Gachagua is somebody who doesn't understand the constitution of Kenya. So nobody will take Gachagua as a leader because he's a leader who is taking you nowhere. You can't have a leader who is taking you nowhere. I will not waste your energy and your funds. These politicians are funded to fund somebody who is going to lead you nowhere. Instead of clinging on Gachagua, who is already been rendered uh, 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 and how do I say, who'd already been written off, they will rather look for people like Ndindi Nyoro and build them. So politically, the visit is not going to do much, but as far as management of the country is concerned, it's going to be we perceive that he got some advice and he's maybe going to do things differently.
Oh, oh, all right,
Oh,
Ben. Ben, okay, I know you wanted to say something, but
I wait, because this is I cannot let Leo lie to us here. You know,
yeah.
one thing that Leo is trying to insinuate is not Gachagua is not written off. You know, the the fact that Gachagua is impeached, there's what we call influencers. You know, Gachagua will influence the political landscape of uh, especially what is happening in Mount Kenya, because you are talking about that Uhuru does not have influence. He does. The reason why I say Uhuru has influence in Mount Kenya, because remember when Uhuru Kenyatta was campaigning for the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta won them, yeah, of the current president and his leadership, yeah. And now, if you listen to some of the residents of Mount Kenya, they will say that Uhuru Kenyatta, we wish we could have listened to him, you know. And one thing to testify that he still has influence. Remember what happened in Embu when he went there. Yeah, yeah. People really shouted, and people were really happy to see him, you know. And due to the fact that president called him to talk to him, he might have been informed by what he saw in Embu when he was
Brother
in
Nanka, sorry for interrupting you. I just want to maybe be away for some 5 minutes. I just
okay.
want to make it clear. For you, what you're talking of influence in politics, these are kingmakers. Gachagua has never been a kingmaker, and I don't see him becoming a kingmaker soon. Because for you to be a kingmaker, number one, you must have had that influence, not within your community alone. Gachagua, first of all, is a first-time MP who was elected based on this euphoria or these waves. So he's a beneficiary of waves. That is number one. Number two, you cannot be somebody who
I,
calls yourself influencer, yet he did not even manage to influence the previous election. Those MPs who were elected in Central, most of them are loyal to President William Ruto because President William Ruto is the one who influenced the election. Had Gachagua influenced the election, they would have walked out and walked with Gachagua. I want to give a scenario. When Raila had a handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, those MPs you saw who stuck with Ruto, they did not start with Ruto because they hated Uhuru. They start with Ruto because their elections were influenced by Ruto, who was the DP then. So Gachagua doesn't have any political influence. This one is debatable. And if you look at the history of central politics, they never recycle leaders or kingpins like the Luos and the lawyers do. It is always like a bad thing that
Leo, before I
is
know you want to
working.
run away after making
Okay,
that
I'm not running
statement, that
away.
ridiculous statement.
I'm
Don't
getting
run
back.
away.
I'm getting back. I'm not running away. I'm just picking something that I'm getting back. I just want
Yeah,
everyone to hear. Right
you
now,
better come back, and
what
when you
we,
come back,
yeah,
you will tell us whether there
five
was
minutes
any
only.
Jamhuri Day
Yeah,
celebrations in central Kenya.
I'll tell you,
Please come back.
I'll tell you the effect of that. What William Ruto can do now, he knows very well he's lost the ground in Central, and he's not going to get it back. And what he's doing now, he doesn't have any business winning Central. His business is to split Central so that nobody benefits. Just like when you know very well, I don't want to take into water, but you dirtify the water so that it doesn't benefit anybody. And that is what he's working on, and he will succeed. He doesn't need Central. They will not give him vote. But he has to
Uh,
ensure that this vote
and
end up in
Leo,
him.
divide
And
and
then
rule. Is it a good way of ruling the country? Divide and rule.
politics doesn't have a good way or a bad way. Politics is as long as you can get your way through. Let me get back in 5 minutes, then I'll
Okay,
respond to
you
that.
come back in 5 minutes. We have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to discuss, Leo. Uh, that is interesting, brother Ben, because Leo, I need you
Y-
come back. Where are you? You need to come back later. Uh, Leo is. Let me remove him.
So now,
Uh,
you know, there's one point that Leo is missing. When you're looking at politics, the main idea or the main reason behind politics is power. There's nothing so that we can say apart from power, because that's why people politic. They want to have power. But if Leo want to let us or want us to believe that Rigathi Gachagua is not a kingmaker, you know, he might not be a kingmaker, but what happened to him, you know, the process, that
mm,
is what is making Gachagua to have influence on Mount Kenya, you know, and he has learned the politics of Kenya. One of the qualification for you to have bargaining power in Kenyan politics, you have to have a region behind you, and that's why I don't think that at any point in time that Rigathi Gachagua will come to Nyanza and campaign. No, he will only come to Nyanza and campaign after being 100% sure that I have a region behind me to bargain. He's not going to bargain even to become an elected leader, or he's not going to run for an office, but he's going to influence.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Forget about what Leo is telling us that he was impeached and he cannot run for an office. Yes, it is true. He cannot, but he can influence the outcome of election. I don't know whether you agree with me on that.
No. Ben, there is something you guys are also getting wrong. Is that once you are impeached, it does not really mean that you will not be able to run for office. The matter
After a
has to be
period of time,
the
after a
matter
period of time,
the matter has to be taken to court. It is the court that will decide whether you'll run or not. I know you'll debate about this, but it is the court that pronounces you whether the kind of offense that you made is something that uh, they can overlook, or they will give you a green light to go ahead and vie. That is why Waititu and Sonko had to take their courts to High Court, and then the Supreme Court told them, you have got a case to answer, so you cannot vie. But the Senate alone cannot. If they impeach you, it doesn't mean that that is the end of you. You've
I
got.
I think Mzalendo, you are getting this wrong. The reason why you are getting this wrong, if at all Kenya was the process. If the process was done in the lawful manner, yeah, in the lawful manner and meet the criteria of impeachment, yeah, then you cannot. You will take a period of time, and this is informed because when you go to Senate, Senate is quasi judicial. They take the mandate of judiciary, yeah. And when I can give you a typical example, look at on how the impeachment process is done in the United States, especially in the Senate. What happened is because they do not have a speaker, yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
will appoint a judge that will sit there to
Mm-hmm.
oversee. Yeah, the judge is not going to make decision, but judge is sitting there just to oversee us because in the Senate we they in the Senate of United States they do not have speaker. They have the majority leader, and the head of the Senate is the vice president.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when they go through their impeachment, remember the one for Trump, there was a judge
Mm-hmm.
to be there or to be in the Senate to control. Yeah. So but because the Kenyan one, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
was a political
Mm-hmm.
process, yeah, ni ule mtu anataka kuua career yako, kwa sababu ukiangalia vitu ambazo zililetwa, some of them hazikukuwa zina meet criteria because like even family issues were involved, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The issue kwamba yeye alikuwa anazungumzia watu wa Mount Kenya, it was insubordinating the president, and even you saw the kind of money that was used during that process. How much was it?
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money that was used in the process just to take him out, you know. So for the Kenyan one, because it's questionable, maybe you can go to court and court are going to nullify it or might give directive based on the process. But in areas whereby it's done in a due diligence, you cannot even find time to go to court because the
Mm-hmm.
evidence will be there.
I think you are right. You are right, and I cannot argue about this much. But one thing I know is that even if you are impeached by the Senate, you still have a date with the court. If the court will determine that whatever the Senate did was correct, then you'll stand. You cannot vie for any other position. But the law is also clear that if you are impeached by the Senate, you cannot vie for any state office. But again, the courts are there to determine whether you are wrongfully impeached or not. That is the
Yeah.
work of the court.
Okay.
So yeah, that is the work of the court to determine whether you are wrongfully impeached or not. So that is something that I think will be determined there in the future for Gachagua, whether he can run for any state office. But as it stands now, he has not gone to court to challenge. He's gone to court to challenge that already. But
yeah.
if he declares any interest on a seat, then somebody else will be going to court to challenge that kind of interest, and he will present himself to the courts. I think that matter we will put it to rest. The other issue is that Leo was bringing is he's saying Gachagua is no longer inconsequential in the politics of Central. I think is absolutely wrong. Gachagua has gained a lot from since he was impeached. Is now like the kingpin of Central Province. I can authoritatively say that Gachagua is the kingpin of Central Province at the moment, and not Uhuru Kenyatta. Uh, just like here in the U.S., Ben,
Mhm.
when you leave office, when you leave, like Barack Obama left office, now Biden is going to leave office. You'll never hear of these guys until maybe an election is coming or they are doing another function. They don't really meddle so much into the politics of the day, but unless there is a very, very important occasion that they need to maybe participate on party affairs or something like that.
Mhm.
I think we are missing the point. A former president, once they are out of office, take leave, be out of office. You've got no business coming to be in office again. Or what do you think?
Now, a former president to come and be in office, like what?
Like like participate in the politics of the day, like being somebody, especially when there were clear differences between Uhuru and Ruto. So I don't know what kind of consultations that Ruto would want to go in public, in public with Uhuru Kenyatta. I think this is something that he would have done in private if he needed some help, but not in public and taking photos and all that. Now, taking photos now brings us to this kind of discussions. What were they discussing about?
Let me tell you, I don't know whether you are very keen enough to read the press that were given by the both camps, what the president gave, what the side of the president, the current president gave, and the fourth president, the office of the fourth president. They were not corresponding. Each of them was speaking of different things, you know.
Hmm.
So that one would tell you. But to me, I as I said earlier, it is right for the current president to visit the former president for advice. It has always happened, even in here in United States. Is that like in United States, if it happens, it doesn't get so much attention as as um, as it should be because of the political dynamics. You know, the one even for the President Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta is taking was so much hit because of the political dynamic that now we have. Right now, president is dealing with the mistrust with the public. You know, so by him going there or by him visiting the former president, everybody will know that one will come to your mind is because of Central Kenya. Yeah, because even in the Jamhuri, when yesterday when there was celebration, everybody was protesting the presidential speech in every county, including Homa Bay. I saw Homa Bay, your county. What
What
happened?
I've not seen, I've not seen them protesting on anything
No,
that is for government.
no. When they wanted to read the speech, and even the government officer, was it the county commissioner?
Hmm.
Please allow me to read the president's speech. It happened in Homa Bay.
It
You
happened in
can check
Migori
the
too.
Homa Bay. Yeah. So with that, so people would think, okay, now the president is losing it. Let me at least bring Uhuru Kenyatta at least to tell me or inform me or advise me on how I can handle this. That one is a possibility. And another possibility that I told you earlier is about the extension of broad-based government. Because if you're very keen enough, the kind of political narrative that is going to take place in the 2027 towards 2027 is going to be a politics of unity versus the politic of tribal.
Hmm.
If you're very keen enough, because what president keeps on talking about is about unity. We are bringing people together, everyone together to come in this government. You know, everyone to come in this government.
But Ben, this is where he's losing the argument. This is where the President Ruto is losing the argument. Do you know that at one point this country was ruled by one party called KANU, and we were all united under one party called KANU?
Mm.
And he's forgetting that Kenya is a multi-party democracy, where he has to have an opposition. So what is his intention by bringing the opposition into government and everybody else into government? What is his what is his thinking?
It's not a thinking. I think this is the politics of us versus them. Yeah,
Versus who?
so it is the politics of the political class, yeah, versus the people, where the political class would come and decide and say, nowadays, today Kenyans are not united. Yeah, so we need to unite them. Today Kenyans are united. Now we need not to unite them. Or today Kenyans are tribal. For instance, if you bring in the issue of um, unity versus tribe, and you find that now, for instance, Rigathi Gachagua, because the process of Rigathi Gachagua has led us to be here calling about unity. Yeah. So when we talk about unity, we talk about unity and view Rigathi Gachagua as somebody who was he was a tribal guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was speaking about Mount Kenya. Yeah. And in every discussion that everybody has, what usually take major discussion about the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua was because he was speaking about Mount Kenya or advocating for Mount Kenya. Some other charges are not being mentioned in the public. So he has been given the title of somebody who is very tribal. But now, come to the government, when you come to employment, yeah, in the major parastatal, they are coming, president has employed
His communities, members, every day when he wakes up, he's employing a Kalenjin
yeah,
from his community.
so when now you want to compare the two, so when now we want to talk about tribal, what is the difference of that person who is advocating for Mount Kenya and the other person that is employing people from his community? What is the difference?
I think you brought it so well. You brought it so well that we can even go back and look at the list of the cabinet appointments that William Ruto did in his first term in office, and you'll find 90%, 99 point something percent are Kalenjin. Let me welcome Dr. Rees will stick. Oh my God! I hope I got the pronunciation right. Dr. will. Karibu Afrika, open your mic. Hello, yeah, thank you.
Oh my God.
Kindly introduce yourself, tell us who you are. Hello? We can't hear you, Dotras. I think he has got issues with his mic. Now, Ben, you brought that topic so nicely, and we landed somewhere. And we landed to this point where, these guys are accusing Gachagua of being a tribalist, while their appointments when they got into office for the first time were all tribal.
Yeah.
We're all tribal, and they didn't even stop there. There were other KRA appointments that were stopped by the courts. I don't know how that went, but they were all again. Somebody went to court and stopped that. Those were all tribal. So
Yeah.
these leaders, as much as they are picking on each other, they are both tribal leaders.
Yeah, is just that the how we frame our words or how we frame our statement, that is what is making the difference.
Look at Raila Odinga. When he wanted to present William Ruto, he didn't present him in Turkana. He went and presented him in Nyanza.
Mhm.
And in in Nyanza, where his strongest base is. So these are basically people who are playing around with our minds. I think they're playing around with our psychology, that we are not thinking, we don't know what is happening. I think it's an insult. It's an insult to us, the people of Kenya. We
I,
have lived with the tribe.
you see,
How? Hmm?
I think it's not an insult. The only problem that we have is that we are not appreciating our tribes positively. Yeah. You know, you have to accept that you have your tribe. And how can I, as a person, appreciate my tribe in a very positive way in whatever I'm
You see, right now, in my tribe, if you go against Raila Odinga, you are going against the community.
Yes, but you have to understand, one thing that you have to understand, I don't know whether if you're very keen
Mm,
about the Luo politics, and
mm,
this is something that everybody, I don't think, maybe I might be looking at quite much differently.
mm,
You know, the Luo politics started with the home of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, the late, the father. Yeah.
mm,
And the politics of the Luo, it's in three categories. One, I think it's the loyalty.
mm,
You have to be very loyal
mm,
to the origin of the Luo politics.
mm,
Because every politician is in Luo has been mentored. Majority of them has been mentored by
mm,
the Jaramogi, is the lineage of Jaramogi, the legacy of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. That's where the politics started, the leadership when it comes to politics. That is one. Then another thing, after you being loyal, you also have to, um, loyalty. That loyalty, kama huwezi kubaliana nao, watu watakuacha. Then there's something called questioning. There's some of the things that you need not to question. If you question,
mm.
you will not make it.
You see, yeah, I agree with you that it started with Jaramogi, but you can also say that during Jaramogi's time, we had people like Tomboya during that time, and they were all agitating for the same. And Tomboya unfortunately was killed. So the politics of the Luos is divided into these two people, Tom Mboya and Jaramogi, and they were bitter rivals in their days. I don't know why a lot of patronage, because I think why Tom Mboya never lived. If Tom Mboya lived to the age uh, of the late Jaramogi, what do you think? How would our politics shaped up?
Um, there could be a better change, especially with the 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 elite. I think the elite would go for Tomboy.
Yeah, Tom Mboya was bringing the elitist kind of politics and a progressive
Progressive.
politics, a progressive politics towards development. I think the people of Nyanza would have been more developed if Tom Mboya had lived to see his days, compared to what we had with Jaramogi. Yes, Jaramogi was a fighter, fighting for land rights and all that, but Tom Mboya, brought in, could negotiate on behalf of the community more articulately and present the community's views. Not even the community, represent Kenya as in a better way.
But Jaramogi himself also is when you look at the history of Jaramogi,
Mm,
Jaramogi is also a democratic person. He was a democratic person, and he was one person that would have negotiation. If he doesn't agree with you, he will not force issues. He will take his own route, you know, and his conscience will always serve him right.
Mm.
Yeah, he's a, you know, you cannot compare the kind of politics that Jaramogi had with the politics of Raila Odinga. Those are two different people. Two different people. Yeah, two different
Yeah,
people.
yeah. These are two different personalities,
Two different
and
personalities, and you know.
oh, Kevin is back. Now these are two different, Raila and Jaramogi. Jaramogi to me is was a down to earth person. Even the way he lived his life, he lived in somewhere in Jerusalem. He has a house up to today inaitwa Koginga kwa Jaramogi in Jerusalem, Jericho. That shows you the kind of humility this man had, and he lived with the locals there. Yeah, during his days. I don't think that Raila Odinga we can trace him back to the days of Jaramogi. Jaramogi was very very humble. He lived with the community and he knew what the community had. He had a better legacy to me compared to one Baba Raila Odinga. Kevin, are you available right now? Kevin, are you listening in or just Kevin? Do you want to say something before we move to the next topic? Kevin.
Uh, I like maybe
All right. All right. We have moved from the issue of the handshake, and now under the dynamics. Now we look at the dynamics of this handshake, what it will bring in our politics, Brother Ben. I want us to look at the Rift Valley, the people of Rift Valley. These are people that are so unpredictable. I've not been able to predict the kind of politics that they are going to play in 2027. Regarding the way they have been pronouncing themselves, there seems to be a lot of opposition on for William Ruto's government in the Rift Valley, in his own backyard, and it might not be very very easy for William in Rift Valley. Or what do you think?
um I, I don't think so, because maybe there's the new generation constituency. No, those that might not support.
I am coming. I'm coming to the new generation, the Gen Zs. I want us to exhaust these guys in their backyard and see what kind of influence the establishment really carries. William Ruto, Raila Odinga, is this formation? Is this merger between? In some quarters, they're already saying that William Ruto will vie on an ODM ticket.
No.
I've heard that rumor. In some quarters, they're saying that they will negotiate, they will form a pact in 2027. Is this influence resonating well with the locals? Is this merger? Is this handshake? Now we move to the people. What are the people saying about this handshake?
you know
Yourself, what are you saying?
you know the
Yeah, Valendo, can I speak?
yes.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody, wherever you are. Good night, everybody, wherever you are. But what I can tell, if I'm to talk about the merger in the political arena in Kenya, it's something that is going to happen. Of course, Gachagua is trying to align himself politically for the 2027. He may not vie, yes, but most importantly, who is going to be behind the political parties aligned to Gachagua? Remember that Medu is going to vie for the gubernatorial position in Laikipia County. How about the other people who are aligned to Gachagua? Raila Odinga is at the AUC. Although it's a very tough position, we don't know whether he will clinch it or not. But again, most importantly, how is the future of ODM as a party? Since it has been there since the year 2005 during the banana versus orange political campaigns for the referendum. So the ODM political party, as we stand, needs a big political merger. My speculation would be that this is my speculation, that he may maintain the previous mergers that he had, and probably Jubilee will merge with the UDA, and then once they have it together before 2027, slightly before 2027, they'll merge with UDA and form a coalition. Kalonzo Musyoka, high possibility that Kalonzo Musyoka will vie, of course, in his Wiper political party, aligned to the Kikuyu political parties. When I say the Kikuyu political parties, Moses Kuria's party is there, and partly even the Western political parties. By and large, Ruto is going to try so hard so that at least he gets very big political bigwigs. The Raila Odinga's political team, as I've mentioned, of course, the coastal region, all these will come together and try to form a government. Remember, the Gen Z is also something that Kenyans are really looking into, because Ruto promised so many things, but he has never delivered on them. So it's something that we are geared up to, and we are looking forward for Okia Omtata coming in. But of course, there are speculations that Okia Omtata is also working for William Samoei Ruto. If that debate is confirmed, then Ruto is going to have very big political mergers that anybody else will not. I don't believe that any political party will win or Ruto will lose. So my position is that all these are either to make Ruto lose or make Ruto win. But the high possibility is that Ruto will win with these political mergers. If I'm to talk about yesterday's debate on the AUC, my assertion is that the Djibouti man Ali Mahmoud really did so well, better than Raila Odinga, because Raila Odinga was really speaking about the basic things that Africa needs. And those we are beyond those kind of things. We are beyond even the SDGs. We are looking at the Vision 2063. We're still talking about the Vision 2030. We just have a few years to the 2030. So that's my recap on this before I leave you for work, wherever I am. Thank you very much, Mzalendo. Thank you very much, Brother Benson.
Thank you so much.
No, look at what Kevin has brought in. Kevin is saying he's ruling out Okia Mtata. He's saying that Okia Mtata is working for William Ruto. Okia of all the people. No, that can never happen.
The only place that I would disagree with him is about Onokia Mutata. Okia Mutata, I don't think so. That just might be like few elements, because like politics is everybody can come or anybody can come with any information, but I rule out Okia Mutata. And where I agree with him is one big issue that the president is now fighting for. The president is fighting for his second term. That is what he's fighting for. Yeah. He has to make sure in his favorite list, he has to make sure that he gets his second term. And he will get it by all means. And by all means, I mean that he will work tirelessly hard to make sure that the big wigs, the big names in the political arena, will come in. Yeah.
Ben, have you ever seen a president who has been fought on social media like this?
No.
In your entire political analysis, have you ever
now,
seen? Huh?
yeah, we've not seen that. But what now you have to understand, if you're reading politics, this is era of the social media activism. And the young people have realized that when you go to the street, you will lose your life. So social media has become like a safe havens for protest, and we are dealing with the generation that is so much well equipped and knowledgeable, especially when it comes to the IT. You know, you cannot compare this era with the era of President the late President Moi or even Kibaki.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This generation cannot cope with the Gen Zs and the
Yeah.
kind of thing that is going to eat them in 2027. I don't think they will cope. I don't think they will cope.
No, even if they don't cope, there's also something that you have to look here. You have to put in consideration. As much as we are looking at the Gen Z, how many of them are going to register, and how many of them will be voting?
Now this is the anticipation. This is the anticipation, and using data and statistics, 10 million Gen Zs did not participate in the elections, who are registered voters. They did not participate in the last general. They have never taken elections seriously. Just like where you are in America, the Gen Zs never. You were seeing the interviews. They were saying, "We have never taken the elections very, very keenly. We were not interested, but we are going to be interested in this one, just for one reason." There's been a lot of media publicity about it. So many platforms are talking about the elections. So many outlets on YouTube, TikTok, everywhere is talking about X. Everywhere is talking about elections. Even today, there's no. Tomorrow, if you wake up in the morning, there'll be an X platform of Gen Zs talking about politics. Have never been as interested in politics as it is today in Kenya. We have never seen anything like that happening, and it is going to blow away this government like never before. That is my anticipation. Another thing, we are only talking about 2022. 10 million Gen Zs did not vote. Remember, there are high schoolers who are going to graduate and go to colleges by the time we go for elections. These are a generation of maybe 3 to 4. That is another like 8 million being added. According to data analysis, by the time we are going to go for election, 40% of the population that is going to vote will be the Gen Zs. 40% of the electoral votes will come from this generation. If you don't have it, that is a big, big number. So you only need like 20% to win the elections. So we are talking about votes of about 20 million plus. If they can be convinced to participate
Yeah.
in the elections,
Yeah.
of which they are doing right now. Mm.
Maybe if Kevin wants to come in, but that's what I was saying, is that will they turn up? Will they wake up early in the morning and go and vote?
They
Yeah.
will.
If
They will.
if
This time they will. They've been killed. They've never been killed before in elections. This they were killed. I mean, do you know? Have you ever watched the interview of one of the Gens? That lady who was saying that when they went to the streets, they took a marker, put their phone numbers on on uh, on uh, on their bodies, in all the parts of their bodies, their phone number, the mother's phone numbers, the parents' phone numbers, and they told them, in case I die, uh, please, this is the number that you will call. That number belongs to maybe my mother or my father,
mm,
or my guardian. So they they have got this kind of a resolution that they have to really fight for their country. And I'm seeing it. I'm in so many groups of young people, even here in the diaspora. They no longer talk about William Ruto and the Railas and all that. They are talking about another generation of politicians They even believe on Morara being their next president. Yeah. So Morara to them is a possibility. To the young people here and the diaspora, it's a possibility. And so many people in Kenya are also following him. It's a possibility that they need change. But how are they going to get it? If the opposition in Kenya can come together, which you know very well, divide and rule, hiyo ulikuwa umeleta kitambo, is what the president will use, divide and rule. Divide a section of them and ensure that you rule over them. But if they can remain intact and get a leader, because not all of them will become president, they have to get one person to vie against William Ruto. I don't think he might survive. The only way is maybe to steal the elections in 2027,
You
which
know,
might
right
be
now,
very, very difficult again. Mtata is talking about the things that I've been saying. Why can't the media call for elections?
you know, I think like Kenya, we are very selective on what we want to do or what we intend to do. If what we want to do favors us, then it will go with us, or it will go, or it will be okay with us. Because the other time I had one of the leaders. So kama tuseme umepiga kura kule kwenyu pale Homa Bay, ukapiga tukapata kwamba rais amepata kura ngapi?
Mbili.
Haja gani mtu kuja na form 32B apande nayo gari?
Apande ndege, wengine wanapanda mpaka ndege, akuje nayo akuje naye atuambie pale Bomas ati rais alipata kura mbili. Yaani Wakenya sisi ni ujinga tuko naye ama ni nini?
Hapo sasa tena wacha, unajua amepata mbili, lakini between Homa Bay mpaka Nairobi lazima itakuwa tatu. Hii moja inatoka wapi?
Hii kura imesikiza Ben, hii kura imehesabiwa
Ehe.
kwa class juu zinapigwa kwa classroom ama kwa hall, imehesabiwa imehesabiwa, imesemekana senator amepata kura 10, MP amepata kura 30, president amepata kura 50, women rep amepata so much na nani. Kwa nini hizi kura msizitangaze? Tayari mshazitangaza.
Sasa hiyo ndio nakwambia, mfumo ambayo sisi tunatumia ni mfumo ambayo labda inafaa iangaziwe na
Hiyo mfumo inafaa ibadilishwe kwa sababu ni ya ukora na ni uwizi. And you know kwa nini wataka kuibadilisha? Kwa sababu wanasiasa wanaitumia, si hata president peke yake.
Hapana, mimi hata unajua kama kuna vitu ambazo watu wanafaa waongelee sana sana ni mambo ya IEBC, kwa sababu unapata kuwa hata hapo kwa IEBC saizi ni au tu vigogo tu ya wanasiasa hawa ndio wanaweka mavibaraka wao, wale watu ambao wataangalia maslahi yao katika hiyo tume ya uchaguzi. Hawaweki Wakenya ambao wataangalia maslahi ya Wakenya. Ndio maana unapata hao wenyewe kukubaliana kwamba
Inakuwa ni ngumu kwa sababu kila mtu anamwangalia mwenzake with suspicion. Unaona?
So we are living in an era of suspicion, like we are all suspect. Yeah? Wewe unaenda pale kuangalia nani ataibia nani na nani aibi. Unaona sasa, kwa hiyo
na huyo atatuibia kidogo ama tunaweza ongea naye.
So kila mtu analeta mtu ambaye ataangalia maslahi yake.
Na sasa mimi nauliza Ben, ukijiuliza tu ukweli, hao makomishana kazi yao ni nini? Hebu tu tuangalie literally what is their work. Kazi yao ni nini? Yani ni nini hiyo wanafanya ile what are they going to do? Kama saizi tunaambiwa they have to be there.
Yeah, they have to be there because the laws and our constitution allows them to. But I think like
Do we need do we need
we
9 of them?
no, we don't need 9. We you see, like for instance, when you come here, we have those we call the Secretary of States.
Mm,
Yeah. Um, Apart from governor, the Secretary of State usually has a say. He is holding high office.
mm,
Look at what happened in Georgia when the um, the Georgia when Joe Biden was running against Trump.
mm.
Yeah, you see how Trump was saying like, I just only need
I
11,000.
only needed 10,000 votes
Yeah,
only. Where can get for me those votes so that I
and
can win the election?
so it is always the Secretary of State that oversees how it is being run, but they don't call the election.
They
Even
don't.
the
Mm.
media here, like CNN will say we project.
No,
No, they will wait for press associate. Look at that.
no,
Press
no.
associate
No. The press associate calls election for
call.
the issue of Georgia. The issue of Georgia last time, and that's what made Trump so mad, is that Fox News called the elections in Georgia, and Fox is a Republican station. They called it
So they
so
should
early
yeah.
before anybody else, before any other media, no, not even before even the independent whatever press you're talking about. They called it and said, "Hey, this guy has lost." I am telling you, that guy was mad with
So
Fox. How could they do that?
how could they do that? So that's why, like, you find if you want to get the real picture of results, go to press associates. They will once they said it, that that is the accurate one. But in Kenya, you find that even some media stations are being used as a tallying center. So how would they call?
No, no. You see the thing is, even if media are biased, even here, media is biased. So, but they call elections. If CNN are leaning towards Democrats and they are seeing their candidate losing, they will say it. We have lost it. They will not hide it. They will say it. It is just a matter of integrity. It is a matter of you. You know why these media houses have to call for these elections?
Mhm.
It will make the elections more expensive to buy them out. Very,
But
very expensive. And again, we will know that the media houses that are being used by the state, it is the easiest way. They
this is
cannot,
the
you know, these things will be random, Ben. You know how random they will be.
Mhm.
You hear an election president has won in Migori, in somewhere in Sori. He has got so much votes. So you are busy doing your calculations. It's already been called. That one is gone. Imeitwa. The another media house will call that election later on. The same results, same time, different times. And like that. Another media house will call Kisumu. Results are out. Hey, zimetoka. They don't wait for those returning officers to carry the ballot to Kisumu town hall for counting again. They call it there. Na inakuwa live. It is live. We are live now at, you know.
and
Mm.
I think with the technology and how we are seeing the X space and the social media is very active, it will be the 2027 general election will be one of the most critical election that we are going to have,
Yeah.
because everybody is going to monitor that election. You call or you say so and so got in on this, he got this, that one will be put on the or will be shared on the
On the
media.
internet, and people will be having smartphones.
People will be having is either, is either you're going to turn the state will say, okay, we are not going to have internet.
And that is the thing. We are not going to allow phones in the polling
No,
polling centers.
phone can be in the polling center, but when you announce those results, people are
We are not going to have internet.
so there's a total shutdown on the internet, so bas hapo mambo itakuwa sawa. Lakini tuseme tu kama mambo imewachwa tu waziwazi na venye tunaona mambo iko katika internet, because look at what is happening in the internet. They encounter everything that president says. Yeah, everything that president says, pap pap, they bring, anything that president says, so
No,
it is.
we really have to fight. We really have to be talking about this issue of allowing the media to call for elections, because that is the only way we'll have sanity in our elections. Whether you are vying for the smallest seat, which is the MCA seat,
Yeah.
please emphasize on the issue of the media. That is the only way you will get a clear results of what really transpires in these elections. There is no point.
Mhm.
There's no point for us to wait for the president to announce some crazy 9 commissioners. Ati Raila is appointing his people, Ruto is appointing his people, Kalonzo also wants his people. Imagine these people are ruling over us.
And that's hiyo ndio maana nilikuwa nakwambia hapo awali kwamba Kenya ukisikia wanatuambia
So
kwamba
saizi wakisikizana hao watu wote, Sidi Kalonzo nani wasikizane, hii hapana, hii tupatie nani,
itaenda
eh?
Wakisikilizana tu watasema
Si wanasema hii tuacha tusikizane, tupatie nani,
na huyo mtu atawekwa ndiye ataenda. So ndio maana nilikuwa nasema ukiona siasa ambayo itakuwa itachapwa 2027 ni siasa ya unity, tuungane kama Wakenya.
It's not working. It's already not working. That unity thing is not working.
But that is what is in the public domain. How many times have you heard the president talking about let's unite, come together?
Do you feel that there is unity in Kenya? You yourself, are you feeling that the people are uniting?
But Kenya who are united, what has disunited Kenyans ever since? Kenyans
we are united for what? Are we going for any war?
No. This is Kenya nakwambia ni ile narrative ya siasa ambayo itakuwepo ni kwamba lazima tukuje tukue pamoja.
Na sasa sisi tunasema it is us against them. So naona.
So, and you saw even what happened when the president was being criticized by the churches. What happened? He invited them to the State House. And what was the reason for inviting them?
No, I didn't. I wouldn't call those. I didn't see Sepit there. Was he there?
The evangelical. Those are
Sepit, was he there? I don't think he was there. These guys are so careful. They can't go to State House. These are, watu wa kanisa ni wengi, si watu wote wataenda.
Sasa unajua Kenya itafanyika ni hivi, kuna ile
the church will be divided.
Yeah, that is Kenya itaenda. Kuna wale watakuwa nasema rais anafanya kazi mzuri, wale wanasema hivyo, wanasema uongo. Yeah? Sasa hiyo ndio jambo palo lipo. Yeah?
Bana, neno moja unaweza ambia rais wa Kenya saa hii.
Mimi hata sijui naweza mrai aje, ni kwamba atimize hadi ambao walipatia na Wakenya. Then Wakenya watamsikiliza. Kwa sababu kitu ambacho inasumbua ama kitu ambacho inafanya, kwa sababu kila kitu ambacho rais amesema, kama tuseme kama hii Taifa Care, unajua there is that massive registration. You can register for SHA and it's okay to register, but are you getting the services? If you register, registration and services are two different things. You can register,
Ben,
but are you getting the services?
Kabla nisahau, you have a very good point. Lakini hii ndaisahau. Juu nimekuwa nikifikiria the whole week. Unaona Magufuli, the late Magufuli. Magufuli was the president in Tanzania. This guy, he used to go to on top of his car, anaenda in the marketplace huko kama ni Iringa ama kule Arusha, anasimama anasema nani ndio anasimamia hii soko? Wapi? Nani ndio mkuu wa hii soko? Njoo hapa. Mbona hamna choo? Mbona hamna nini? Mbona hamna maji hapa? Kwa leo we umefutwa kazi mara moja kwa sababu ya hii ama nataka ripoti kwa deski yangu by Monday saa fulani, ukuwa umenipatia ripoti kamili. This president, he doesn't do things like that. I don't know, because when you are the president of the Republic of Kenya, sijui ni mahali gani iliandikwa president wa Kenya anafaa kukaa kwa ikulu, anapiga maraundi, anatuambia vitu atafanya. Mbona aendi tu asemee aende impromptu, aende mahali kama Homa Bay pale, aende kwa hospitali aone the condition of the hospital.
Unajua
Why can't he? Why? This is directed to the, I know they are watching this. Mr. President, make an impromptu visit to Mama Lucy Hospital and see the way it is. And then you know whether you are serving the people or you are serving people who are going to die the next minute.
Unajua mfumo ya CCM ni mfumo tofauti sana, si hata tu rais, hata wale tunaita mkuu wa mkoa ama mkuu wilaya au watu
Ni
ambao
ile msimu wetu wa kitambo, hapo ndo tulikuwa
so
kitambo.
wako na ile nafasi ya kukutana na wananchi kusikiza kero zao, ambapo sisi hatuna. So kusikiza kero zao na malalamishi, kuna masiku
Usiseme hatuna, useme hatuna.
si kwa sababu sisi tumekuwa ni watu ambao labda ni starehe, sijui ni nini ambao
No, katiba kuna public participation.
But unajua zile si public participation ambao wanaenda, ukienda tuseme kwamba unaenda kama rais anaenda kusikiza kero za wananchi, labda the president is on his way to launch a certain project, but on his way he's having a forum to listen to the people of that particular country. That is what Magufuli used to do. And if you are very, very, very keen, if you look at during the time of Magufuli, we had this mkuu wa mkoa was called Happy. We had huyu mwingine pia alikuwa anatoka Tabora, alikuwa amependa kuongea sana, nimesahau
huko ni kwa huko Tabora, huko sijui wapi huko.
Alikuwa anatoka Tabora. Kulikuwa pia na huyu siku hizi amepelekwa Arusha, huyu anaitwa nani, Makonda. Unajua walikuwa na zile wakati wanakuwa na wananchi wanasikiza kero zao, na hiyo nadhani iko katika CCM. Serikali mfumo yao iko hivyo. So sijui kama sisi pia tunaweza kuwa na mfumo kama hiyo. Hata
there is no difference between when Ruto akisimama mahali atoke kwa gari yake hivi aanze kusikia yeye kikazi ile anatua kama the last time ile vitu wanasema are so irrelevant to what the people. I'm telling you, every time, I don't know whether they have realized that this is so irrelevant, it is not working. Uende usimame male wananchi wako, usimamishe Junet Mohamed aseme atukane Gachagua, atukane sijui nani, atukane, yani ni ujinga gani tuko nayo? Yani atukane huyu mwingine, aenda asimame wapi, Joe asimame hapa atukane mwingine, atukane nani. Hebu tusikie Mheshimiwa Junet Mohamed na lile anaweza sema. Junet anasema ati sisi tuko nyuma ya rais kabisa. How did the people of that area benefit in that statement?
So it tells you the kind of politics and the politicians that we have. The rate of sycophancy is so high. It is like, I don't know whether they want to please the president, or I don't know what they are trying to do, at a point whereby you don't even respect the people who gave you the mandate to serve them.
These leaders are sycophants. They are sycophants. I'm telling you, so long as you are in the presidential convoy, you are okay.
You are okay.
Upande naye ndege, you are okay. Uliona kale kakijana kanaitwa ka Samuel ama na nani, amepandishwa ndege ya chopa. Sasa yeye ni mtu wa ODM, ana articulate vision ya ODM.
Lakini si unajua hakuna haki, unajua katiba inaruhusu
No, katiba ako na haki, lakini unajua ukiangalia nyuma hapo alikuwa na kashifu hizi machama kama ODM, tena baadaye unaangalia sasa amebadilika tena mwenendo wake consistently. Unajua hawa vijana I think pia ni tamaa ni tamaa ya kuna ile maisha unaona, kuna ile maisha unaona mwanasiasa anaishi, unataka kuishi hiyo maisha sijaona mwanasiasa kama Ukia Mtata ule yuko down to earth kama vile ule mwanasiasa yuko anaendesha gari ya Demio, gari kadogo kabisa, bado anaenda. Sijui kama ni plani yake ya kupata urais, but kama hiyo ndio plani yake, then it is working for me, it is working.
Unajua labda Kasemwel ameona mwanga na anataka kubadilika.
Ameona hela ama anataka kubadilisha maisha yake,
anataka kubadilisha mfumo wa uongozi ambao tuko nayo katika ODM, so ni haki yake.
Kama Babu Owino akiwa kijana angeweza kupatiwa uongozi, aka Samuel katapewa uongozi
labda kuna kitu ambacho wameona ambapo wanaweza ona kwa Babu Owino.
Hamna. Hizi machama ni vyombo vya kutapeli wananchi, na tunafaa kusema hivyo katika na ukweli na haki. Hizi vyama ni vyombo ya kutapeli wa Kenya.
Unajua tukikuja kwa mfumo za vyama zetu za Kenya ni hapo pia tunapata kwamba ukabila zimo ndani tu, zimebuniwa tu kwa ukabila, kwa sababu unapata kwamba asilimia kubwa ya watu ambao wamo ndani inalingana na pali hiyo mwenye chama yupo, kwa sababu huwezi niambia kwamba mtu atagombea wadhifa wa uongozi na yeye bado ndio ni tuseme kama ni chairman ama ni mwenyekiti wa chama, na yeye ndio bado uko na wale ambao utakuwa unashindana nao, na unajua we pia hapo kwa uongozi upo. For instance, if let's to say like today Ruto is the President Ruto is the party leader of UDA and he will be running for presidency. Kama kuna mtu atakuwa anashindana naye, atashinda kweli? Huyo jamaa atashinda, na he has invested the party leadership. You are not just being given that party, you have to invest in it.
Utashindaje na delegates wale wanapiga kura ni hao viongozi umewapatia tiketi ya chama? Ni hao viongozi. Delegates wale wanapiga kura ni hao viongozi, ni hao ma MPs wale wanakuimba kila siku, wale wanakuambia wewe umetosha. Utakuwaje na demokrasia hapo? Hii mfumo wa demokrasia hii ya multi-party democracy bado inatuchanganya kidogo, lakini maybe with time tutakuwa mature kiasi. Naona pale kuna Douglas anasema nini but do you know in my village in Baringo people don't do what? My village in my people don't know Omtata. Yeah. I know Douglas. In Baringo, people don't know Omtata, but in Baringo, the people are living in poverty. Look at the politics that has been going on in Baringo for the years, and you've had the presidency for that long. It is high time you change your mind, Mana Douglas. Things have to change. Whether you know Mtata or not, we are talking about service delivery. Can you tell your people that it is high time we have service delivery among the people of Baringo? So hapo umekosea kidogo. Ben, I think we need to wind up the show.
Okay.
Naona
muda imeyoyoma,
muda inazidi kuyoyoma. tunaweza mwaga unga tukizidi, tunaweza
Yeah,
mwaga nini? Hebu hiyo Kiswahili inasemwaje? Maji inaweza zidi
unga.
maji
Maji
inaweza zidi
yakizidi
unga.
unga.
Tunaweza kuwa tumeongea sana, maji ikawa yamezidi unga. I think you need to give us your closing remarks. There was so much to be tackled, but since we came late to the program, I think
Yeah.
leave the rest for next time, because we want our viewers to be educated, informed, like the people of Baringo, on the kind of leaders that we want, and that will is what will shape the country. It is not about where you come from or where the president is coming from. It is about the person who can deliver the services that the people of Kenya really need critically. So Ben, your closing remarks, and before you do that, I want to thank Bana Douglas, Eric, Leo, and Kevin, who were here earlier, and Shiro. Thank you guys for tuning in on Afrique, and we hope that you have subscribed. If you have not, please make sure that you have subscribed to Afrique. If you're watching us from different platforms, tafadhali fanya tu heshima kidogo, ufanye subscription pale Afrique. Go to Afrique, subscribe, like, and comment. Ben, twende
Okay,
basi.
thank you so much, Douglas. Thank you so much for meeting you here again. Douglas usually is a good my member. He's usually with me immediately I go online, so I'm a
Oh,
regular.
okay.
Yeah, I know Douglas is a good guy.
Mhm.
We always have a conversation with him on the chat section.
All
So Douglas, thank you so much for joining us again here. To me, what I would want to say is the best, all the answers that we are looking for, all the answers that this country is looking for, be it the good leadership, be it be it a good nation, be those answers, they're in the ballot. That's where those answers are. So the best thing that you can do when you will be called upon to vote, go and vote, and you will you will answer those questions there. They are on the ballot. So that is the only thing that I would tell Kenyans.
you're done, brother Ben.
Yes.
I agree with you. The answer is definitely on the ballot. I I also say that when you go to the ballot, go with your brain. Don't leave your brain behind, and don't be manipulated. Know what you really want. For we here in Africa, we will continue giving you the best ways to conduct a free and fair election, such that we don't have these fights that we normally have, or after elections we get into another election mood, has been happening in our country for many years right now. That after every other election, we are back into another election. So thank you guys. I hope that you enjoyed part of this show. As you can see, we have got a cocktail of candidates. On my left is Morara. If you like what Morara is talking about, he has got the Inject Party that is coming up very strongly for the young people. Yes, you can join Team Morara. We also have Kalonzo Musyoka. Then we have got Ambassador, who is also vying for the presidency. Matiangi, we didn't talk much about Matiangi, but I think that will be later this evening. We'll be talking about Matiangi, what he brings in as a presidential candidate. And of course, Gashagwa and Central Province. We never got to talk about the population and why Central Province is significant in the country politics. And now that they are fully in the opposition, what roles will they play in 2027? Will it be the decider? Will they be the people who decide who becomes the president or who goes to the opposition? I think they will play both roles. They can take you home or they can make sure that you be with them in the opposition benches. So, with that said, I hope, guys, you enjoyed this show this evening. See you later. And same time, same place. If you miss me here, make sure that you go to Brother Ben's studio. He's
Yes.
also on YouTube. Please tell us a bit about Brother Ben so that we can also find you when
Yeah.
Mzalendo is not around.
Thank you so much. We run our media. Is Brother Benson Media. We have at least we have like four panelists who host differently. You might not get me there, but there's Marco Bura, there's Kevin, there's Barak. Uh, they are they are the same, speaking of the same thing, And also, we also host quite a number of leaders. Actually, we've hosted Hester Waringa for I think like twice, if not twice, is thrice.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I've hosted Waringa like twice, if not twice, but thrice. We had yesterday, we talked with the Professor Ogola, Fred Ogola, yeah, and Fred Ogola nowadays is the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Zima University. So you can also check on that. We had quite conversation about the Uzima and what he does. So there we are.
All,
You can come.
all right. I think we are growing stronger each and every day. I hope to talk to Ogola. Ogola wanted to be the president. Did you ask him about his ambition to be president?
Yes, he still harbors that ambition, and he's still fighting for his place, and he's still campaigning for it. But right now, I know, but right now he's in Uzima. I don't know whether.
All right. Let's leave it there. We'll look for Ogola and we'll get it from the horse's mouth. So
Oh,
until next time, brothers and sisters, thank you for being part of our Freak family. See you later in the evening. And if you love EPL soccer, there'll be an analysis coming later. If you love your team, Arsenal will be playing against Everton. We have got a good run this season. I know Ben doesn't love soccer,
no.
so but
Uh,
we have got a good run this season, team Arsenal. Tuko pamoja, so jioni team Chelsea pia tunangojea watandikwe. So if you are betting, make sure that you put
you
up
bet wisely.
bet wisely, but and don't overdo it. Usibet na school fees na pesa ya Christmas ya
Okay.
watoto. Asante.